All right, guys, welcome to training vlog episode number 3 for the road to AO2. This episode is going to be all about our impulse day. And this is something that I'm really excited to talk about. Again, I've said this before, impulse is something that, like Garage Strength, if you guys don't follow Garage Strength, highly suggest following, great follow. They talk about impulse a lot. Velocity training, speed training gets talked about, but the idea of impulse, what is impulse? It is the force you produce. So again, force production, velocity, times how long you apply it. So this idea that the higher the force and the more time that you're able to apply it, the bigger the impulse. And the bigger the impulse, theoretically, the more, in our world, weightlifting, the more weight you could lift. So how we think about it is, how fast can you apply your current strength? So you might be a strong motherfucker, but if you don't have speed, it's going to severely limit in a strength or a speed-based sport or a power-based sport like weightlifting what you can lift. And so you can train impulse, you can train velocity, you can train force production, you can train these things. And in a training cycle, this will help you with specifically getting better at the snatch and the clean and jerk, in that while you're getting stronger in your squats and your main lifts, if you have a day like we do, Wednesday is our day dedicated to impulse, you can then work on the skill of this kind of power transfer, change of direction, going from an eccentric to a concentric, going from applying force through the floor as long as you can on your pull to then taking that and transferring it to a fast turnover position, whether that's in the snatch or the clean, right? So that's why we train impulse. We train impulse because we believe here at Stellar Strength Barbell, this is going to allow you to be a better lifter in the long run. To train impulse and velocity and power correctly, we can't be lifting heavy weights relative, because your velocity slows down, your change of direction slows down. Conversely, we can't be lifting just the barbell and just doing like unloaded jumps. There has to be a give and take. So on this day that you're gonna be seeing today, most of the percentages are ranging anywhere between 60, 65, maybe 70%. It's enough weight that we can feel it, but it's not so heavy that we're slowing down. And so that's what this day is dedicated to. And I believe, it's my philosophy as a coach, that having a day dedicated to something like speed and athleticism is going to make a better lifter. I know so many lifters out there that are strong, but they are not athletic. And their lifts are slow. And it prevents them from being able to get under these heavy loads and be athletic with it and set it up fast. Athletes, like football players, are not the best technical lifters, but some of them are out here freaking hang cleaning 405. Is it because they're technical magicians? No. They're strong, they're quick twitch as a mother effer, right? NFL players, they're the quick twitchiest guys out there. That's why they can lift this weight. Some of them aren't even super big and strong, right, necessarily, but damn, they're fast. It's their impulse, okay? So that's what we're gonna be going over today. So that's what we're gonna be getting to in this vlog. Let's get into it. All right, so again, impulse day, speed, velocity. Again, the cool thing about this day is it's also the third day of training in a row. And I don't know about you guys, but by the third day of training in a row on weightlifting stuff, I am sore as shit. And the velocity day, the impulse day that we have here, we're not doing anything like over 65%. So not only are we training the speed, we're training the athleticism of lifting. We also are giving our, I'm not gonna say our nervous system, because our nervous system needs to be turned on this day, but we're giving our body a bit of a break. And I think that's huge. I think a lot of programs, a lot of coaches out there, you know, I think they program too many heavy days, like too often in a cycle. Like, you know, obviously you need to lift heavy to get stronger and to be acclimated and try to PR. But if week one on, like, let's say like it's an 8-week cycle, you're already at 80+%, I just don't believe that you're gonna get through that cycle healthily. Your chronic pain's either gonna show up, God forbid an acute injury, like, unless you're on steroids or something, that's just not gonna be doable for a lot of people unless this is their life. Now listen, if you're somebody out there that comes in and trains and goes home and has a whole recovery protocol, cold plunge, sauna, you don't have a job really, or your job is like work from home and you're able to take a nap, okay. But most of us aren't that. Most of us have a 9 to 5. Most of us work in some capacity, and so our life outside of the gym is also stressful. And this is why I think a lot of people end up plateauing in weightlifting that are like amateur weightlifters, is that they're just beating the shit out of their body. They get into their mid to late 20s, their early 30s, their nervous system is shot. Again, every day they come into the gym, they're lifting 80+%, or God forbid, they're maxing out all the time. You're going to stall out at some point. That might work at first because you're a newbie, but at some point that will stall out. You need days and weeks and even parts of training cycles dedicated to lighter weights, focusing on technique, focusing on speed, and just giving your body a freaking break. That will breed longevity in the sport. That will also breed consistent progress in this sport. And so having just a day in the middle of the week where we're not going anything heavier than 65%, we're focusing on speed, focusing on aggression, athleticism, will build longevity in the sport, and it will also work the skill of speed and power transfer and being athletic, which is a huge part of this sport. So I'm just a big fan of having days like this. I'm a big fan as a programmer of, if I'm writing a 12-week cycle, which is how I like to write a lot of the time, that first month, we never go heavier than 80% on any day of the week. It is technical drills, it is the full lifts, but it's higher volume, lighter weight. That way, that month, the person can acclimate, the nervous system can build, and then the next part of the next 2 parts of the cycle and that mesocycle, now we're building. Now we're 1, 2, 3 days out of the week, we're getting 80+%, and then that final month is all about, okay, every week we're probably getting, and it's like building a base, right, to the pyramid of a program. So that's just my philosophy on it. Let's get into what we got today. Big part of this day warm-up wise is just getting tendons warmed up, getting jumping warmed up, getting blood flow going, getting the nervous system warmed up, right? So just doing some jumps, just hopping around. Again, being an athlete. Ooh, gotta get the squat warmed up. We start with squats. Last week we did back squats on this day. We're gonna alternate between speed back squats and speed front squats. Again, that way we're working the technique of power transfer, of going from the eccentric to the concentric with speed on both squat variations. That will have carryover to our heavier squat days, as well as obviously like on a front squat doing that, that's gonna have carryover to our clean. And again, my legs are absolutely throttled today, so the fact that we're gonna go a little bit lighter is a good thing. So yeah, just hopping around, just getting blood flowing. All right, not a lot to the warm-up today. Speed, 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 baby. Now again, if this is something that's piquing your interest, this idea of an impulse day, speed day, you know, or if you're feeling burned out on your program or your training or whatever it is, you just want something new, different. Our cycle, our training, live training is on Train Heroic. You get 7 days for free. So if you just want to check it out, see what is maybe the same, different than what you're currently doing, we'd love to have you. Hop on the program. Again, right now it's peaking for AO2. But even if you're not doing AO2, good little cycle. We'll go for some heavy PRs the end of August. So, you know, a good little 6 to 8 week cycle here. Should be enough for you guys to be able to see what you got at the end of it. Go for some PRs. Again, with these squats, I'm more focusing not only speed standing up, but the turnaround. Going from eccentric to concentric, so the lowering phase to the standing phase, as fast as possible in that turnaround position. One of the things where I end up failing on my heavier squats is that turnaround. I don't transfer that energy fast enough. It's a lot of people, and especially if like you bottom out or you try to use a bounce. So something I'm really focusing on is turn around quick, get out of the hole. I know I'm getting back into weightlifting shape when like my warm-up was literally just me jumping around, and I've loaded reds right on and like my legs are sore, but I'm just able to get right into it. Yeah, that's how I know I'm getting back into weightlifting shape. It's like I'm beat up and sore, but can get right into squatting. All right, next set's our working set, 205. Again, light. All right, first working set here is at 205. Again, just 2 reps. This is 60% of what I hit on Friday, which is 335. So, speed, speed, speed. Here we go. Hey, faster. All right, this gets better as you go to the extent that your nervous system's getting fired up and turned on, so. All right, set 2 here. I'm going every 2 minutes just to keep me flowing, keep me going, keep me in the groove. Here we go. Like that. Jesus, I'm gonna die. Good God. I'm too short. Ah. All right, third set it this way, and then we're gonna go up. Hopefully I don't die trying to re-rack this. There we go. All right. Solid. 220 next. Gone up to 65%, which is 220. Again, over stimulating the nervous system here. We've acclimated to 205. Now we're gonna try to acclimate to 220. The intention still has to be there of turning around quick and standing with speed. It'll feel a little bit more challenging with a little bit heavier weight though. Still speed though. Here we go. Feels solid, feels like I'm standing with speed, feels like I'm turning around decent, so feels good. Set 5 overall. Set 2 of the 220s. We got 6 working sets here, so the final 2 sets coming up. Ooh, faster, come on. All right, getting tired. That one didn't feel too fast. It might have been, just didn't feel it. Sometimes the way they look versus how they feel, completely different, but last one got to be faster. All right, last set. I took a little bit longer rest here. Not excessive, just maybe an extra 30, 45 seconds. Try to give the nervous system a little bit extra time to recover. So, because again, speed is the name of the game. So we don't want to get so fatigued that we're slowing down and grinding out reps. Not that I was grinding anything out, but just took a little bit extra rest, see how this goes. Glad I did that. All right, on snatches. All right, so we're gonna be doing hang power snatches too. The focus here is more, again, on change of direction and speed and power. On this day, I am worried less about technique. It's not that technique's not important on this day, but that's my Monday, Tuesday. It's dedicated to more technique and working through that. Today is all about power and speed. So if I'm not as technically proficient on this day, I'm not overthinking it. I'm not being a perfectionist like a lot of us weightlifters can be. And then Friday on our heavy day, it's like a mix of the 2 days. Like, yeah, I'm gonna focus on technique, but I'm also gonna focus on being strong and powerful and just hitting our heavier weights. So again, if there's like some technical breakdown here, it's okay as long as it's not anything crazy, right? So just focusing on that on this day, kind of that change of direction on the hangs will actually use the momentum of kind of coming down to turn around into that hang. That bar might come away from me a little bit, right? That kind of drift away and back in. I normally hate that. It's not the end of the world on this day. We're focusing on speed, power, athleticism, aggression. Technique might break down a hair. That's okay. I'm gonna use straps because, again, I care far more about transfer of power. I'm not worried about grip or anything like that. I don't want that to be a limiter on this either. So definitely strapping up for this so I can just focus on the main thing. There we go. All right, just went right up to the working weight. Got 2 reps. Again, transfer from the eccentric lowering phase to the hang as fast as you can to the concentric. And then at the hip, that turnaround, that's the speed. Speed, 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 speed. I'm still gonna try to land in a good power position, not get starfishy. But again, I'm worried less about that. Focus more on the power aspect. Here we go, 2 reps. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Yes. Like that, feels good. Set 2, gonna try to be even faster. That turnover, get under as fast as I can, transfer the power, then drive through the floor as long as I can. That's the impulse, right? How long can I drive, and then how fast can I transfer that power? Here we go. Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, that felt really good. That felt fast. All right, set 3 here, staying 140 again. We're just staying at 60% across here. I'm gonna try to mimic what I just did in that last set because that felt, there's just something that you know when it feels fast, when it feels snappy. Like you just know, it's just in there. At least I do. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Come on, faster. There it is, yeah. First one was second one was good. Second one was good. Set 4 of 4. Last set, make it explosive, make it fast, you know? Here we go. Faster, come on. Here we go. There it is. All right, starting to get tired a little bit, but still felt fast, felt good. Power cleans from the floor. All right, now we got power cleans from the floor. I am still gonna use straps. I would not normally recommend using straps on cleans. However, with this day being everything focused towards power output, I don't want anything to limit my ability to just focus on that training stimulus. And so I don't want my grip, my hook grip or anything to impact this. I would not normally recommend wearing straps on a clean, your wrists, but you know, I've been doing this for a long time. I know what works for me. Those feel good. 195 is my working weight though, so for 195 here, Dan's pulling up, what you're gonna see in the video with some actually testing on our power and our velocity with force plates. But just 1 rep here, went straight up to my weight. Again, I don't wanna over fatigue myself. My nervous system's warm, I feel primed, so only 1 rep, you gotta give max effort here. Force production through the floor. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let's define some better lines here. And yeah, so it's just a little bit
better. Okay. Yeah, and that's more like what I see in like, especially with my, like the FDN lens that I've developed a little bit, it's like, people just aren't in tune with their nervous system all that well.
Sure.
And we've put on a pedestal, especially in training, like, especially as guys, like, don't be a bitch. There's going to be days where you don't feel great. And it's like, that is true. But just because you can hit that weight on a day you don't feel good doesn't mean for longevity's sake that's going to be the best thing.
Right.
In that moment, you might be fine. Next week, you might be fine. And then that third week, all of a sudden, you're like, man, I'm starting to get a little thing. I wonder where that's coming from. And then you're breaking it down from movement pattern. It's like, maybe it's because 3 weeks in a row you weren't listening to your nervous system at all.
Did you like look at all the accumulated load?
Exactly, yeah. And it's just like, just because you are able to walk it out and hit it or whatever, doesn't mean over the course of 4, 6, 8 weeks of a cycle or whatever, that's the best thing for you in that moment. And that's a hard thing to do because it's like, am I being a bitch? Am I, that's a really hard thing to do. And so that's where, as a coach, I feel like you need to take that out of the athlete's hands and be not better, it's just a different philosophy. Have a different philosophy of programming maybe a little bit. Like on this impulse day, nothing is heavier than 65%. One, because we're training speed and velocity and you can't go to it. But two, after 2 heavy days in a row, it's nice to have a third day where it's like, okay, give the nervous system a little bit of a break from load. Speed is there and everything like that. Or like when I program for like a 12-week cycle, the whole first month, we don't do anything over 80%. It's all dedicated to technique, mechanics, and accumulation of that. That way, by the time we get later on, then you can have those heavy days, but you have the foundation. But then guess what? After that cycle's over, we go right back to deload, and we have a month again. And I think that's why, like, somebody like Mike has never gotten hurt over 4 years. Noah's never gotten hurt, type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, exactly.
Like, cool, we didn't lose our momentum, we didn't miss our
exactly.
competition.
I just feel like so many programs and so many coaches just have people like heavy too long. Like, of course of course, like, it's a strength sport, you have to.
Right.
But for too long of a period, that's when, like, I just think shit starts to happen.
Right. You just need little hits of like, I can do it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
95% of
Right.
what I want.
Yeah. It's like if we're peaking for a meet, it's like we only need to be at that 90 to 100% range for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's it. And anything more than that, it's actually going to be detrimental because your nervous system's going to start falling off and you're going to feel like shit. That happened to Mike at his last meet. It was like we did 3 meets in a row type of thing every like almost like 4 or 6 weeks. So there was no time for him to come down and come back up. By the third meet, he bombed out. He literally couldn't even clean and jerk his opening weight, which is like 30 pounds under his PR. Because he's just torched by that point.
Man, yeah, I feel like we're so eye to eye on so many of those like qualities of the training program. Like, I can't seem to get people to like understand that. I mean,
I've just seen it proved out in my. I'm like, proof is in the pudding. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like, I'm not going to convince everybody. And again, there's going to be plenty of people out there that are like, that sounds like a bitch philosophy. It's like, all right, Jesus Christ, like, all right.
Carry on.
Yeah, carry on when you're 50 and have a fucked up body because it's like it's also like it's not only for longevity. It's like I truly believe like that will end up with better results in the short term as well.
Yeah.
Because you're able to bring more intensity on certain days. Again, like if my nervous system is recovered or I'm not feeling any aches or pains, I'm able to bring higher intensity to each training session. That's the biggest lever you can pull on fitness, on strength, is the intensity you bring to each session.
Right.
Intensity doesn't always have to be heaviest load.
That's exactly right.
Multiple ways
So many knobs
to turn for intensity.
I can't seem to get people out of that. Like,
It's hard. It's just, but that's been the philosophy for so long. And it's like, that's a great philosophy if you're on steroids.
yeah.
But most of us aren't, and most of us are hobbyists. Most of us are not pros. That's another thing. It's like a lot of the philosophy of training comes from like strength and conditioning, which most of them only work with pros. And it's like, you have such a unique subset of humans.
We have this trap bar, but
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's like little
Exposure.
changes over
Exposure over time. Yep. That's 100%.
So, anyway.
Oh.